howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again, and welcome to The Roads with Belle. Today is December 22nd, 2024, and this is episode 70 of The Roads Not Taken, which is a weekly series where we go over the news that was unreported, underreported, didn't get the coverage we felt that it should, or we just found it interesting. And then we go over a few questions from y'all. And today is December 22nd, and today is National Short Person Day and National Cookie Exchange Day. It's Dee's Day because short and bakes the best cookies. And on this date in 2018, the longest U.S. federal government shutdown in history started. Luckily, we're not in the middle of a repeat performance. And starting with foreign policy, Trump issued tariff threats against Europe. And in South Korea, prosecutors are seeking to question the impeached president, and the internal political turmoil is shaking up supply chains. South Korean currency has hit a 15-year low. In Ukraine, Russia used a series of ballistic missile strikes. There was an overnight exchange of drones in which Russian airports were disrupted, and North Korean troops took substantial losses. Meanwhile, Ukraine is suffering forced generation issues. The U.S. has reportedly removed the reward for the capture of the Syrian rebel leader who led the forces primarily responsible for ousting Assad. This is a clear sign that the U.S. is establishing diplomatic relations with the new Syrian government. If I had to guess, the U.S. wants cooperation in continuing its mission against IS. In U.S. news, despite a constant media narrative saying that California is experiencing some form of mass exodus, numbers actually show the state's population grew by about 0.5% from July 2023 to July 2024. The Senate confirmed Biden's 235th federal judge, beating Trump's record from his first term. Biden is considering commuting the sentences of death row inmates, but at time of recording, we're not sure how far that consideration has gone. The feds are now saying that in addition to encryption, if you're a highly targeted individual, which means a senior official or executive worth a foreign intelligence service spying on, you should also avoid personal VPNs. I'm guessing that Dana will probably cover this more deeply. But the reasoning is that it increases the number of places they can attempt to gain access. The exact recommendation is, quote, "Do not use a personal virtual private network." In cultural news, NORAD will be tracking Santa again this year as millions watch in multiple languages. The Air Force has once again asked Santa for the secret to his hypersonic tech. The Pope has reportedly warned Vatican staff about gossiping and backstabbing, saying that gossiping is an evil. In science news, the price of Bitcoin dropped 7% after Jerome Powell indicated the Federal Reserve wouldn't be holding Bitcoin in its reserve. It dropped down to 92,000 before picking back up a bit. In Oddities, Elon Musk reportedly crashed a dinner between Jeff Bezos and Trump. The suggestion was that Musk was acting like Jim Carrey in The Cable Guy. A 72-year-old man was ordered to pay thousands in fines after he shot down a drone he found suspicious. It was a Walmart drone. Oddly enough, this was not part of the recent hysteria in the Northeast. On to the Q&A. So, before we get started with the Q&A, I I just want to say thank you all so much. Everyone who participated in the fundraiser, I have no words. I cannot even thank you enough. You all contributed way more than we needed. And we have been doing this 5 years. This is my first year being out front. And I think I had put a lot of pressure on myself because we had had so much success in the past. I'm overwhelmed, and I really appreciate y'all. And I can't thank you enough. And please know they get all of it. And we will keep you posted on what else transpires out of it. Thank you. Thank you again. On to the first question. Not being rude, I just wonder, it looks like you raised way more money than you could spend on tablets. Yes, we did. So what happens to it? It gets passed on to the shelter in another way. Sometimes they give us additional lists of things they need, and it can be anything from car seats to high chairs to diapers to cleaning supplies. We've done game consoles, just anything they need. And if they need us to get it, we go get it. If they don't need us to go get it, we write the check and they get everything. How many Republicans in the House defied Trump after the debt ceiling and would now need to be primaried if he followed through with his threat? About 170. If he just goes after those who push through the continuing resolution without the debt limit increase, that's 170. If he includes those who voted against the first package he supported, that adds another 30 to 40. He's just going to pretend like he didn't make the threat. There is no way he can follow through with it. What do you think about always calling Musk President Musk in your videos to get under Trump's skin? I can see why that would work, but it isn't something we do because it's a little too inflammatory, except maybe in an overtly sarcastic situation. Is this latest trouble over the budget a sign that Trump has lost control of the Republican Party? Is there reason to be hopeful? Almost all of them disobeyed him. I wouldn't get too excited about it. They'll disobey him on certain issues. He does not have complete control, but they mostly agree with him. So really, we just need to hope that they go against his just worst possible inclinations, and that they don't agree with them. It's more like Mitch McConnell with the foreign policy. Mitch McConnell will probably sign off on just about everything else that Trump does, but he just opposed him on this one main issue. I had this thought earlier today and took your fundraising video as a sign that I should start investigating. That led me to some questions. 1. How often do folks in DV shelters have to leave family pets behind? It happens often enough that a lot of DV shelters have either established their own animal shelters or they have worked out some kind of plan with a local shelter. Are there any statistics that measures what might happen when the pet is left behind? I've never seen statistics, but your story about something bad happening to an animal that, I'll be honest, I didn't personally read, it isn't rare. Question 3. Would a temporary shelter for those pets be something worth investigating, or is it a flight of fancy? Oh no, I would call the local domestic violence shelter and see if they have one set up. And if they don't, it's definitely worth pursuing. I want to say that 2 out of the 3 that we support that have them on their own. So that looks like it. A little more information and a little more context, and having the right information will make all the difference. Y'all have a good day.